What is up, guys? It is time to test out this cheap lithium battery and get that Road Glide running again. Alright, here we have the new battery. I don't know if they call it Noco or whatever. Let's open it up and we're going to weigh it. It's got a nice big manual, but for a Harley battery, it doesn't weigh that much. I'm going to need both hands to get this out of the box. But here we have it. Hopefully this is the right battery for us. I got it on Amazon. I paid $199 free shipping. I think that's like the cheapest battery, lithium battery I could get for this bike. And we're going to see how well it does. But let's first weigh it. Get it zeroed out. Basically 5 pounds. Just under 5 pounds. Now I'm going to say I'm not trying to go like super lightweight with this bike or anything like that. I just got it because I wanted to try it out. I had one lithium battery before in my Dyna, not the one I have now, but the 2010. That one was the Harley one, and I think that was actually, I don't even remember how much that cost. I do know that a regular Harley battery, last I checked for my Road Glide, was $250. So this is $50 cheaper. So we're gonna see how much lighter it is. 5 pounds is pretty light for a battery. If I had to guess, the stock battery might be like 25 pounds. But once we get it out, we're gonna check it. That scale doesn't go up that high, so I'm gonna use like a regular like person scale. I'll have to go get that, but we'll compare, see what it's like, and get this Road Glide running again. Alright, we got the Road Glide pulled out. If you have been watching some of our older videos, then you'll know we've been dealing with electrical issues basically in the radio. We have hopefully corrected that. Our friend Friendship Biker Babe has hooked us up with her old radio. I know the radio we had in there was grounded out somewhere inside. It was doing the craziest things, and it was no good. That was kind of my biggest thing of waiting on getting a battery, as I needed to get this figured out. The battery or the radio completely took a crap on us last year coming back from Sturgis, and was drawing the bike down in like 3 days. Now, I dealt with that all the end of last year. I tried to do my best to plug it up to a battery tender, but I didn't always do that. And it's my fault that we completely killed the battery in here, because, you know, battery isn't meant to do that. It needs to stay charged. It shouldn't be charging it down or pulling it down all the time. So we got this new Sony radio. I don't know the model, but it was close enough to mine because everything matched up. Everything plugged right in. And I put a jump box on this thing to test it out, and I think we're going to be good to go. The hand controls still don't work, but there is a big harness with 2 different circuit boards in here, and that happened once before the radio went completely out on me, and one of the circuit boards got a little bit of moisture in there and were damaged. I don't feel like fixing that because a whole new harness is like $120, and I wasn't 100% sure how this is going to go. I have a knob and everything on the radio works, so I just can't use my hand controls, which is fine. It's not a big deal. We're going to try this out, and if everything goes smoothly and that ground is gone or whatever, then we'll look into maybe changing out the harness. I'm not sure. I don't like dealing with audio. I took it to a shop to get this done the first time, and I ended up with a not very water-friendly radio. So I really don't want to be dealing with this. But honestly, the only reason why I keep going through it is because of all the trips I take. I really like having Apple CarPlay up here. It makes it easy for the trips. I can put my phone in the bag, you know, Wretched Bar Bags, wretchedclothing.com. But I can put my phone in the bag and I don't have to worry about my phone getting wet and all that. So that's the plan, is to be able to travel easily with a GPS. But let's get this torn apart and get the battery out, and we'll see what that new lithium battery can do. All right, so after taking the seat off, move the ECM out of the way, take this tray out, we expose the battery. And after looking on the date of the battery, whoo, did we kill this battery very early. It didn't even last 2 years. Oops. So yeah, don't do that. If you have an electrical problem, you better go ahead and fix it. Or you're going to be buying another battery. But I did throw the jump box on there because I did like a TikTok and a YouTube short of showing people the best way to jump their bike off, because I've seen so many people where they got a dead battery, where they take the seat off, take all this to get to the battery, when you don't have to do that. So I guess I'll go ahead and show you guys too the best way to do that. If you have jumper cables or jump box, that little bolt on the starter, that's the power. That's the positive like terminal for the battery. So all you have to do is get to that bolt right there. Like I said, your starter, get to that bolt or nut right there at the end. It's covered with this little black shield. And then any good grounded bolt on the bike, and it'll start it right up. You don't have to go through the process of getting to the battery. I know some bikes are harder to get to the starter than others, but if your starter's exposed and you can get to that bolt, this is the best way to do it. So let's get that old battery yanked out and see if this new one fits. All right, getting your battery out of this small hole that weighs probably 20 to 25 pounds is a complete pain in the butt. It's not that hard, but grabbing a battery like this and trying to get it around everything, that's a pain in the butt. This new lithium battery should be much easier for when we replace it, but hopefully we don't replace it that soon. So let's do the reverse of the takeout and do the install. Now, looking at the batteries, they look very comparable, pretty much same size. The posts in the right spot. So yeah, this should be a pretty easy install. All right, we got the battery installed. So let's go over one little thing here. These are the screws, bolts, whatever you want to say they come with. Looks like they've got multiple mounting points. I think you got like 4 technically mounting points, unless that counts as that to that. So 3, 1 on top and then 2 on the sides. But that little screw there is a 4mm. Now, while they do include that wrench in a little baggie, it is completely up to you if you want to do that. 4mm is not super common, but the stock bolts do fit back into those holes. The thread pitches are exactly the same, which is really nice. These screws are a little short, so if you're like me and have a couple connections you're doing in the same port, those stock bolts work perfect. And that's a 10mm plus a Phillips. That's going to be a lot more like broke down side of the road friendly. So I would suggest you switch back to those, and then you can always leave these in your toolbox for extra connections or an extra bolt if you absolutely need it. But yeah, this was super easy to install, and it's going to be a lot easier to take out whenever we replace it because it's just so much lighter. But let's get everything put back together and see if this thing will start. All right, let's see if this thing is going to run. I'm pretty sure it is because I had that still hooked up, and when I connected the battery, it said 13 volts. So pretty sure we're not going to have a problem. There we go. All right, the bike is fixed. We're ready to go. One little caveat to remember: if you do have one of these lithium batteries, you need to, well, I guess 2 caveats. First, make sure you don't have any electrical issues, and you can't let this thing just die on you. From what I've heard, the lithium batteries are a lot more susceptible to draining down dead and not coming back. That's just what I've heard. So I would stay diligent on that. Plus, your regular battery tender is not going to work. If you have just a regular lead acid battery tender, that is not going to work. You need one that is made for lithium batteries. They're not that expensive. They're not hard to find. You can get them at Walmart or whatever. But just your standard battery tender isn't going to work. Now, for the most part, someone's shooting something on Easter. Neighbors are getting rowdy. But anyways, yes, I'm filming this on Easter. We've turned the bike into Bagger Daddy mode because we're taking that to Easter and we got to bring pasta salad. Anyways, the lithium battery tender will more than likely do both. So if you get one of those and you got one bike that's got a lead acid battery, one that's a lithium, more than likely the nicer, newer battery tender will do both. And that's what I have. I do have your standard battery tender I've had forever, but I did buy a newer battery tender that'll do both. I have that in the garage, so that'll work just fine. One thing we are going to do, we're not going to wrap this video up today. It is Easter Sunday, and before my bike would completely die by the third day, I would notice a big difference. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ride it today and then probably not ride it tomorrow or Tuesday just to see what the battery does. We're going to see what happens Tuesday night when I get home from work, or afternoon. We'll check and see what the volts are and see if my battery drain problem is gone. So we're going to see what happens. But let's go weigh this old battery and see our weight savings between the two. All right, we got our battery, we got our scale. Let's see how much this thing weighs. I couldn't use that scale because it doesn't go that high. So 20 pounds. That's what this thing weighs. I was expecting it to be a little more, like 22, 23, but that's a savings of just over 15 pounds. Not bad if you're already going to replace the battery, depending on reliability here, but we'll find that out. But yeah, 15 pounds, swapping out a battery, not too bad. If that's something you're interested in, this is a no-code battery from Amazon. They said it'll fit the Road Glide, and it matches up pretty much 100%. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back in like 2 days. It'll be just seconds here for you. We'll check the draw. Now that's not something on the battery, that's just something on my bike. And we'll just see how this goes. And hopefully maybe we'll do some update videos every year or so and just see how this battery goes and see how it lasts and see if it's worth the money. But comment down below, what do you think? Is this battery going to be worth it? Go ahead and make your predictions now and come back and check them. Is this battery worth a damn? 200 bucks, lithium battery, 15 pounds savings. So far, I'm liking it. All right, guys, it is time. It's been 2 days since we installed the battery. Went for a ride, did good. It's been 2 days. Bike's been sitting, no battery tender, no nothing. Usually on the third day, the bike was dead. Like nothing on that bike worked. So let's see. I haven't looked at it. I'm waiting for you guys. Let's see what happens. All right, I got my jump box here. I'm doing it this way because I saw what the voltage was through that last time. So I figured we'd just redo it. But I haven't checked. We're going to hook up this negative lead. And right here will show us what our voltage is. All right, 13.2. That's perfect. Because if you remember, when I did the video of installing the battery, it was 13 volts when we first put that battery in. That was with it never run before. So 2 days, no voltage drop. I'm sure it charged up some when we went for that ride. So 13.2, that is perfect. I know that's not a very long amount of time for a bike to discharge a battery, but like I was saying, my bike would discharge the battery in 3 days. And when I say discharge the battery, I mean sometimes it wouldn't even crank over, like just immediately starter would click in 3 days. So looks like we're doing pretty good. So comment down below how you think this battery is going to do, how long you think it's going to last. It looks like We don't have a parasitic drain, so we're not going to destroy the battery. Now it's just going to be based on how well that cheap Amazon battery does. So comment down below. Let me know if you want to update, whether in 6 months, year, whatever. Let me know. We'll see how this goes, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated. But like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and as always, keep it wretched.